Between now and Selection Sunday on March 13th, there are still tons of regular season college basketball action to go. Plus, all of the conference tournaments and WagerTalk and Sports Memo are announcing their March Madness Bonanza special, which includes the rest of college basketball regular season, conference tournaments, NCAA tournament through the national championship, and any plays released in the NIT or CBI tournaments. Sign up for this promotion now at your favorite handicappers homepage and get the rest of the college basketball season through the national championship on Monday, April 4th for just $177. That's under $5 a day for one of the best betting experience in sports. Act fast as the March Madness Bonanza special is only available for a limited time.
All right. Man, college basketball in full swing already. Teddy covers Lawrence Presman. You're watching WagerTalk Today. It's March 10th, everyone. And today, what a show, Teddy. We got Dave Cokin right off the bat. He's going to look at Wyoming, UNLV, Hawaii, Riverside, and the Flames versus the Lightning, which is a really interesting game. Tony Finn in the middle. He's going to look at Brooklyn and Philadelphia, Golden State and Denver. And we're going to end the show with Ralph Michaels' 3 college hoops plays: San Diego State, Fresno State, Colorado, Oregon, and Santa Barbara. Teddy, a huge shout out to that big game breakdown yesterday, brother. You didn't just give out Utah. You gave out Utah in the first quarter, in the first half, on the game, at the 3-minute mark, at the 8-minute mark, at the 12-minute mark. You took Utah from start to finish. Congratulations. That was a beauty. I then followed it up with a 1-0 daily presidential address, but I won both my prop bets as well. Both dogs. This show is amazing. We got a great quote. I got a great quote from someone on Twitter. They learned so much from this show and from you and I. And man, yesterday was just a great example. I won my 5% in NHL. Yeah, baby. Okay, I got to calm down. Yesterday, I had way too much adrenaline in me. You actually pointed it out after the show.
Is it time for me to talk yet? You're going to throw it to me, or you're just going to stop talking?
Yeah, I thought it was cooler, pick up.
Yeah, just monologue, bro. Monologue. Cool, I'm good.
You going to go now?
Oh, sure. You want to ask me what I learned last night?
Teddy covers!
Which is...
What did you learn last night in the wonderful world of sports betting?
There will be beats, okay? There will be beats. Over the course of the next 3 days, there's going to be beats. Over the course of the next 4 days, I should say, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there will be beats. Of course, next week, 7 days from today, the big dance is going to be starting. There will be beats there as well. You can't let it make you too crazy. It made me a little crazy last night. Definitely did. I was on the wrong side of a couple of them. Even in the NBA, the Wizards +5 of the Clips, they led with a minute to play and lost and failed to cover. The Bucks Hawks total 240, lands 239. Virginia Tech blows the big lead, misses the free throws, misses the turnovers, terrible end game. They win a 3 OT, they don't cover. Arizona State blows a 14-point lead with 3 minutes to play. They lose outright in regulation to Stanford. Cal hits a 3-pointer with 5 seconds left. No foul. They're going to lose by 7, +8. The Xavier collapse against Butler. On and on down the line, okay? Be aware. There will be lots of games that come down to the wire against the spread over the next 2 weeks. We say the lines are tight around this time of year for a reason. Try not to let it make you too crazy when you're on the wrong end of some of these, as you inevitably will. And if ever there's a time that you want to be paying attention to betting skills as much as handicapping skills, it's this time of the year. Every half point matters. That's what I learned last night, Prez.
And it's a great take because, we all, especially during the madness, when you're getting, that first week where there's so many games, you look back and you lost 3 by a half a point. And it happens every single year. So great take. Teddy Chuck Pod, one of our best listeners. He's here every day. He writes, we know what Prez thinks of himself. Now, what does Teddy think of Prez? Now, don't say anything, Teddy. Chuck, if you don't know what Teddy thinks of the Prez, you aren't watching the show every single day. Everybody knows what Teddy thinks of the Prez. Anyway, anything to add to that, Theodore?
I have no comment. I'm better off with no comment in that regard.
Yeah. His comment was retracted. I don't know. I thought it was fine. I thought it was acceptable. Guys, I really want to thank you all. Teddy, we had a huge turnout on our 3-day package. WT, well, I got to remember, WT.buzz/59. We had a big turnout yesterday. That package is still live. It's up till Friday at midnight. So if you guys want 3 days of Teddy and the Prez for $59, which is a huge deal, WT.buzz/59. And both of us are absolutely rolling right now. Speaking of rolling, Teddy, freaking Dave Cokin in golf, man. 3 weeks ago, give or take, he hits a 50-1 outright. He just did it again this past weekend. Dave Cokin, welcome to WagerTalk Today, and congratulations, man. Jesus Christ.
I didn't have him. I had Ryan Brem.
He obviously had you in his bosom, holding you tight, whispering sweet things in your ears as you figure out who's going to win. Way to go, man. It's amazing.
It was the easiest 50-1 I'll ever hit in my life. I mean, Ryan Brem blew the field away in Puerto Rico. I just sat there on Sunday rather, and it's like, okay, this is going to be easy. And they weren't catching him. That was clear, and he won by like 6 or 7 strokes. So that was fun. But Cameron Smith just hit a ball into the water, so might not be as good this week at the TPC. We'll see. Anyway, I'm up over 80 units for the season now, or for the year, 2022. Up over 80% gain on the starting bankroll. So I like where things are at.
Yeah, Dave, it's okay if you don't hit this weekend in golf. I think you've given yourself a little bit of a window after hitting not only 150-1, but 2 in the last month or so. Let's get into some college hoops, Dave. Wyoming playing UNLV. How are we betting this game?
This should be fun. UNLV they've surpassed expectations. This team was supposed to be kind of mediocre this year. I mean, not talking San Jose State or Air Force bad, but one of the weaker teams in the Mountain West. And Kevin Kruger, he picked up some good pointers from his dad, I guess, because his first year as a head coach, he has just torn it up here. And UNLV has played well, particularly well on the defensive side of the ball. I think they're in a little tough today against Wyoming. Cowboys might have a little too much for them. I think it's a close game. But I'm going to, in a situation like this, I think Wyoming just comes up as a stronger side for me. I made them about 3. I don't think the home court advantage is as strong in tournaments as it is in the regular season, and because everybody's playing for their lives. So I would side with Wyoming here. Not going to make my card, though, because UNLV continues to do things that I didn't expect them to do.
So, I mean, Wyoming's one of these teams, Dave. They've won, how should we say it, more than their fair share of close games this season. And UNLV is certainly a better team now than they were 3 months ago. When you see a team like Wyoming that's been, they've been good in the end game, but they've kind of been lucky. Are those teams you tend to want to be on in conference tournament action, or you tend to want to be against?
I don't know. I don't have tendencies one way or the other. I just look at each game individually. So it might be a team that I want to go with, might be a team that I want to go against. I mean, it's just how they match up. I'm just so anti-trend in terms of anything that I can't give you a good answer on that. I can tell you this: Wyoming is not that lucky. Okay, I mean they're 24-7, but based on their shot quality numbers, they should be 23-8. So they're right there. The fact they win close games, probably a good thing. I mean, you can look at Providence College because they've been the luckiest, quote unquote, team in college basketball this year. Well, at some point, it stops being luck and it's just an ability to do really well in close games. And I think Wyoming kind of falls into that category. They've consistently won games that went to the wire, which means they're just good at the end of games. I think they might be again tonight. This should be a real good scrap.
Dave Cokin joining us, everyone. You can find him at WagerTalk.com, exclusive at WagerTalk.com, and we're lucky to have him. Dave, Hawaii playing Cal Riverside tonight. Money coming in on Cal, -2.5 now. 125.5 is the total. How do you suggest we bet this game?
I had a 5% on Riverside on Saturday, and that worked out. They did lose by 1 in overtime, but they covered the spread, which was all that mattered as far as that big play is concerned. That really kicked things off for this hot streak that I've been on. I've watched Hawaii play a lot this year, and they're under the radar, very well coached. This team is efficient. They don't do stupid stuff. And in a game that looks close, those are qualities that I do like. So my side here would be Hawaii. I think Hawaii's got a really good chance to win this. Obviously, both games need to win out in this tournament to get an NCAA bid. There's no at-large bids in that conference. I think Hawaii might be a little better basketball team than Riverside when it comes to closing out games. Riverside's had some close losses. They're the flip side of what we were talking about with Wyoming and Providence College. Riverside has let games get away this year. And I'd rather have the team that knows how to finish, and I think it's Hawaii.
So this is obviously being played here in the Las Vegas Valley. It's in Henderson. It's not in Vegas itself. Henderson, the moral equivalent of Las Vegas. It's the suburb to the southeast side of town. But Hawaii is one of these teams that in conference play, they didn't play their best basketball on the highway. Does it worry you in this instance where they're playing in the Las Vegas area as opposed to in the islands?
No. So one word answer, no. I just matched up the teams, and I've got Hawaii winning by 1. So again, not on my card, but if you're looking for leans to play, I'd be on Hawaii in the game. Again, it goes down to the fact that this game looks close. I'd rather have the team that's more trustworthy in close games.
Dave Cokin, before we get into the NHL game you want to take apart, anything to promote? Tell us what's going on with you over at Wager Talk.
We're just grinding along. All I can tell you is if you started 2022 with an opening bankroll of $10,000, I use $10,000 as a figure because that means a 1% play, you're playing $100, 2% play, playing $200, etc. And you need that kind of a bankroll if you're going to be buying my picks, at least, because I don't play a lot of volume. And, if you're starting off with a $1,000 bankroll, 1% plays not very much, okay? So you're not going to be able to make money at that. Anyway, if you started with a $10,000 bankroll, you're now up to over $18,000. That's all I'll say.
Amazing. Well, we'll leave it at that. Dave, Tampa Bay on the road tonight playing Calgary, and I know that you have been a big fan of this Flames team since their coaching change. And, I mean, look, they're winning night in, night out. I don't even remember the last time this team has lost 2 games in a row. It hasn't been in the last 10 games, that's for sure. Tampa Bay, though, on fire as well here, Dave. But both teams coming off of a loss. I love this game from a fan perspective. I can't find a bet. I'm really curious where you're going.
Well, let's look at Calgary's last game and explain the loss. They were up against the Capitals, and I had Washington in the game.
Yeah.
Caps fell back 2-0, but came back, and you could see Calgary's legs kind of wear down as the game progressed, and that was a natural spot for them to do that. They started with a signature road win at Colorado on Saturday. Come back home, and they've got the rivalry game with Edmonton, and they were 0-2 against the Oilers, so you know they wanted that game. They get the win, and then the next night they're going to come back and play the Capitals, and they've got this game on deck. Well, I mean, not that you're going to overlook Washington, but if there was a flat spot in that 4-game stretch, it was the Capitals game, and I think it played out that way. Now they've got another signature game, and the fact is the Flames have been winning all these games. Markstrom's been outstanding in goal.
Yeah.
The Goodrow line has been tremendous. Listen, they're good. They're legit good, and they're fast, too. I think they can neutralize the Lightning team's speed, which is usually an advantage for Tampa Bay. I like the Flames in this game, and this is, of the games we're talking about, the one I actually did bet. At Pick'em, I think Calgary's the right side in this game.
Yeah, and I don't dispute that, Dave. I just, for me, it's so hard to bet against Tampa Bay, especially coming off of a loss. Dave Cokin, everyone, again, congrats on your 50-1 golf win. Congrats on your hockey season, your basketball season, just about everything. Wait, bring Dave back on quickly. 1 second. We got Teddy and I have a $50 bet going, Dave. Guys, real quick, Friday, March 18th, we talk about this all the time. We're having a WagerTalk meet and greet, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern at the West Gate. Dave Cokin, I have $50 riding on you being there. Teddy has $50 saying you won't.
Teddy
Do you know yet, or shall we keep it in play?
Yeah, no, there's not a chance I'll be there. Sorry.
Teddy?
And I'll tell you this simple reason why. I can't watch games in crowds. My concentration gets complete. They won't leave me alone. Okay, I want to watch these games and try and get something out of them so I can win some money when the winners wheel back on Sunday for the second.
Fair enough.
Of the NCAAB tournament. So
I get it, Teddy. There you go. You owe me $450 now. The 500 loss on Dallas to win the East, and I'll minus the 50 on this. You're looking like you don't remember this bet. Okay, Dave, get out of here.
This is what I know, Prez. When I see you next week, you're going to hand me 2 20s and a 10 the first thing I see you, buddy. Looking forward to that. I know my Cokin. He's not going out to the March Madness, some March Madness party on the
I will speak privately to Dave. I will speak privately to Dave and slip him $20 to be there. We'll split your winning.
In golf, I don't need your $20.
Yeah, Dave. Dave, say that again. I don't think anyone heard that.
I said I just did a 50-1 shot, and I didn't have $20 on it either. So I don't think I need your $20 right now. But
okay, Dave, we love having you, man.
If they don't play baseball, I might take you up on it later on.
Okay, brother, we love having you on. Thank you for your time. Teddy, it's amazing, dude. I'm going to give you 2 20s and a 10 as soon as I see you. Then you're going to give it right back to me with 4 Benjamin Franklins. So we will make that exchange. Well, you know what? We'll do it Sunday. We'll find a stage for all to witness. Teddy covers Lawrence President. We got a lot of shows still left, everybody. And guys, real quick, super important to us. And I know so many of you guys are super loyal, which we really appreciate. But we are closing in on 95,000 subscribers to this channel. We want to hit 100,000 so bad. Please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, just subscribe. It takes 1 second. Please subscribe. I don't know what more to say to that. Help us subscribe, please, Teddy.
This is what you say. The channel is WagerTalk TV on YouTube. We hope you'll join us. When we come back, my big game breakdown coming up. We're going to talk Virginia Tech and Notre Dame, ESPN2 tonight. Stay tuned. WagerTalk continues.
Between now and Selection Sunday on March 13th, there are still tons of regular season college basketball action to go. Plus, all of the conference tournaments and WagerTalk and Sports Memo are announcing their March Madness Bonanza special, which includes the rest of college basketball regular season, conference tournaments, NCAA tournament through the national championship, and any plays released in the NIT or CBI tournaments. Sign up for this promotion now at your favorite handicappers homepage and get the rest of the college basketball season through the national championship on Monday, April 4th for just $177. That's under $5 a day for one of the best betting experience in sports. Act fast as the March Madness Bonanza Special is only available for a limited time.
It is time for today's big game breakdown. Let's talk Virginia Tech and Notre Dame ACC quarterfinal matchup tonight on ESPN2. Looking at the WagerTalk live odds screen, I'm seeing a little bit of Virginia Tech money this morning. Open pick'em at most shops. Moved up to -1.5 for the Hokies pretty quickly. Total's been sitting flat, 130.5 pretty much all day. And certainly, Virginia Tech managed to survive and advance last night. Darius Maddox draining the three-pointer at the buzzer to win in overtime after a pretty rough end of regulation. They blew a double-digit lead in the final 6 minutes of that contest. They missed 10 of 11 from the floor down the stretch. They missed 6 of 8 free throws down the stretch. They turned the ball over, but they hit a big three at the end of regulation and then a big three in overtime to get the W. Now, in general, I want to be backing teams that get the win and not the cover in that first game. They don't have a big betting bandwagon. Everyone that bet on them yesterday is mad at them. And the fact that they were able to survive and advance despite not playing their best game tends to be a good thing. However, I like the coach's quotes. And sometimes a coach's quote really stands out to me. This one from Mike Bray does. Quote, talking about his team's mindset entering the ACC tournament. Quote, they believe they can play until April, and they're ripe. There's a calm about this group. I've never been more excited taking a team into the postseason. That's a pretty strong bet on quote. And when these two teams played the first time around, look, it was a huge shooting game for Mutz and Aline for Virginia Tech. They combined for 46 points on 17 to 21. But Fighting Irish only turned the ball over 3 times in that contest. I don't think Virginia Tech can turn them over today either. And in a series that the Hokies have won, they won both meetings last year. They won the first meeting this year. I know, it's hard to beat same theme 3 times. Ralph Michaels has disproven that. Nonetheless, I think the Irish are coming to play today. Give me Notre Dame plus the 1.5. Let's fade the steam on this one. Look for the Irish to get the W. There's your big game breakdown. Prez, back to you.
Teddy covers outstanding stuff. Listen, Tony Finn, Dan, let's do the daily presidential address. All right. What a day we had yesterday. Just amazing stuff. Won my play on the daily presidential address to take our run to 20-7. Also gave out 2 prop bets. JT Miller plus 155 to score. It cashed. Connor McDavid plus 130 to score. It cashed. I got 2 NHL bets for you guys tonight. First, I just want to make mention we won our 5% play yesterday. Thank you guys so much for joining me on that play. It was just awesome. What a run we are on right now. 20-8 college basketball run, 11-1 NHL run. Just outstanding. Anyway, 2 plays for you guys tonight. Look, the Colorado Avalanche are playing the Carolina Hurricanes tonight. They're playing in Carolina, and this could be a Stanley Cup final. I mean, both these teams are just outstanding. But I like the Avs tonight. Minus 120. This team is coming up with a couple of losses. I think it's just a bad spot for Carolina. I wouldn't want to be playing a mad, angry Colorado Avalanche team. Take the Avs minus 120. The other game is Nashville over the total of 5.5. They're playing Anaheim tonight. We're going to get a lot of scoring in this game, guys. I'm really surprised this line isn't 6. This is like a 3% play for me. So that get down on the over in that game. So the Avs minus 120, Nashville and Anaheim over the total. I have one NBA play, one college basketball play, and one NHL play up for my clients. Thank you guys all. That is the daily presidential address. Ralph Michaels joining us. Ralph Michaels! Man, it's nice to have you, brother. It's great to see you. How are you, my friend?
Always enjoy Thursday mornings with you, too. So appreciate it. And Prez, congrats on an amazing run, especially because you've covered 3 sports on that run. So congratulations, and I'm glad your clients have stuck with you with these longer-term packages.
Yeah, you know what? Listen, the longer-term packages are the key. It's Teddy said it a couple of weeks ago. It is so hard to win sports betting, and to win and then buy daily packages. Man, that is a variable where you are literally trying to figure out which handicapper is hot that day. So I am with you, Ralph. You guys should definitely take advantage of the weekly and the monthly specials, and we have specials all the time. And frankly, if you don't see a special, but you want a special or you want a deal, just email our customer service and ask them. Ralph, tell them how good our customer service team is.
I mean, let's put it in perspective. Everyone's always excited about WagerTalk $9 Monday, where every package is $9. Folks, a 30-day all-access for all sports is $2.99. You're paying under $10 a day. So there's always packages to be had, a week or a month. When you find the guy that you want, yes, there's going to be ups, yes, there's going to be downs, but as Dave talked about, it's a grind, and to be a successful long-term bettor, you have to stick with that guy and not always change the guy who's hot, because the guys that are hot a lot of times are coming off and are going to have a poor performance the next few days, and the guys that are cold often are the guys that are going to get hot in the future. So if you're one of those guys that are always chasing the hottest services, I'm sure you don't always have very good success.
Yeah, Teddy?
Yeah, I mean, I've probably said this over the course of my career, 1,000 times, and I'll say 1,001. Don't ever buy any of my plays. Don't buy a play. If you want to get on board with someone, buy a package. That's the only way to win. And I understand the big game hunters. Oh, this guy's got a 5%. That guy's got a 5%. That's the nature of what we do. That's the nature of the hype of the business. But serious sports bettors, even pro sports bettors, they're going to buy a subscription for a guy that they trust, and that's what they're going to bet. And it saves you, again, when you talk about how you're going to spend your money from a value standpoint, is not even close. You get every play every day from a handicapper that you trust versus trying to buy an individual play here and an individual one there. It's a no-brainer in my mind.
Yeah,
that's every bettor gets to make their own decision in that regard, including you, Ralph. What's up?
You know what, Prez and Teddy? The one thing, too, that our customers need to realize, Dave talked about it. If you have a $10,000 bankroll, we suggest play a 300 on a 3-star, a 400 on a 4%, and 500 on a 5%. A 5% is not double. It is not triple. It is only 25% more play. So when people are hunting these 5% plays, 4% plays are often have even a better record. So again, that's the one thing that I think people need to change their mentality, is that a 5% is so much better than a 4% when it's not. It's a quality play that maybe has one extra check mark in the handicapping techniques done. But again, consistency is the key. Enough of that.
Yeah, let's get into some actionable info, Ralph. We got a huge slate of college basketball games going today. Fresno State playing San Diego State. Let's start right there. Came out at -4, -6 most places. There is a 5.5 on board, a total of 115. So bring your pillows out. Maybe light some candles, have a glass of wine, and nap through this one. How do we bet it? Don't tell me the under.
Well, you know what? I would clearly lean the under. Now,
yeah,
you're looking at a team like San Diego State that is playing Fresno State. And normally, if you're the rested team, you do want to up the tempo to try to get them tired. Now, I'm on San Diego State for one reason, and that's the scheduling spot. First, let me give you a negative situation on San Diego State. San Diego State is likely in 21-7 against the schedule, what they've done in the past. You know, they may be on the bubble, but I think they can lose this game and get in. Fresno State can't. Fresno State has to win to get in. But you look at Fresno State's schedule. This is their fourth game in 8 days. They played a double overtime against San Diego State. Last Saturday, they played an overtime against Wyoming. And last night, they played an overtime. So that's 4 overtime games in the last 8 days. Your top player, who is going to play in the NBA, Orlando Robinson, has averaged 43 minutes in those 3 games. You have Isaiah Hill, who's averaged over 40 minutes in those 3 games. And Fresno State needs Robinson's athletic prowess to win. The problem? San Diego State teams up and matches up with Menza, the defensive player of the year in both media and coaches poll. Maybe one of the best defensive players in college basketball. Robinson in 2 games against San Diego State, 26 points, averaging 13 points a game. Fresno State, overtime games start to take something out of your mentality. You get physically fatigued. 2 games ago, they had 17 turnovers against Wyoming. While they only had 11 turnovers in the San Jose State game, San Jose State is last in turnover defense in the Mountain West. Guess what? Not only is San Diego State number 1 in defensive turnovers, they're number 36 in the country with an elite defense. I am going to go with San Diego State to wear them down. This is a situation that I actually lean Fresno in the first half because San Diego State's offense is so below par or average. But I think San Diego State wears them down in the second half, and Fresno State does finally wear out with all those overtime games.
So, you talked about the overtime game that these 2 teams just played. Double overtime game these 2 teams just played, decided by a single point this past weekend. Are we worried about any revenge angle here? I mean, to me, like 6 points feels like a mountain for San Diego State to have to climb in a game that's going to be played at a super slow pace where both teams know each other really well, even with the fatigue factor. Does it concern you that, these teams just played and it was as close as it gets?
I think that actually helps San Diego State. They know they just played a double overtime game at home and they just won. I don't. And you mentioned revenge, Teddy, and I heard you mention it earlier. This is a situation where Fresno State has double revenge. They lost at home 61-44. Then they lost in double overtime 65-64. As you mentioned, Teddy, teams that have beaten opponents twice in a season have won straight up 70.3% of the time. And the teams that have won twice have actually covered the spread 53.5%. So if you're looking at the Fresno State double revenge angle, throw that out of your handicapping prowess. Again, the team that's won the first 2 has covered the third meeting 53.5% of the time.
Ralph Michaels, everyone. Samuel Cantu writes, you guys are awesome. He's speaking specifically about the 2 of you, so I really appreciate you both being here. Anyway, Oregon, Colorado, and I never know how to pronounce this Oregon. Nobody in Canada can get that bloody place right. Oh, by the way, speaking of Oregon, if you have not read the book Shoe Dog, which is the Nike story written by Mr. Knight himself, it is a 10 out of 10 biography. It is one of the best biography books I've ever read in my life, and it's a short read. Shoe Dog, go get it, read, learn the Nike story. It is unbelievable. Okay, back to the on topic. Ralph, Colorado +1. There's a pick'em out there. 138 is the total. What do we do here? I
make Colorado 3. This was the game that just missed being on my board. And again, I was very close to using them as an all-access play. When I break down tournaments, I look at how teams have done in the past 3 weeks, and I look how teams did in road and neutral games in their last 5 weeks. Colorado clearly with that edge, finishing the season on a 7-1 run. You look at Oregon, the complete opposite. They finished 1-6, and yes, they got by Oregon State yesterday. But here's a note. Oregon and the Pac-12 play games on Thursday and Saturday. So you have 1 day rest or you have 5 days rest. When Oregon played those games with 1 day rest, they were only 2-8 against the spread. And more importantly, Will Richardson, who started the first 29 games for Oregon, missed last game and is doubtful for this game. Not only does he play point guard half the time, he plays shooting guard. He's their number 1 assist to ratio man, and he's made the most 3-pointers for the Ducks. Without him, I think Colorado would be a 6-point favorite, even if he plays. Current form of the Buffaloes, playing excellent defense down the stretch, has me backing Tad Boyle's squad in Las Vegas tonight.
So I want to ask you this, because Oregon, to me, is one of those classic teams that just underachieved down the stretch. The Ducks are better than their record. All right, a lot of things went wrong for them. They didn't play good basketball for much of February and into that first week of March. But teams like Oregon that get that first win, talented teams that have underachieved, do they bet ons for you ever? Or is this just one of these situations where, hey, they stunk down the stretch, they got a win against a bottom feeder yesterday, they're not as good as Colorado. There's no momentum swinging in Oregon's direction. Is that your take for this one?
Teddy, we've talked about it. Teams like Oregon that play defense under Dana Altman, teams like Syracuse that have their zone, tend to play better down the stretch and better in March. But you look at Oregon the last few years. Last year, they won their last 6 regular season games. 2 years ago, they won 6 of their last 7 regular season games. 3 years ago, they won their last 4 regular season games. So while this team has been a play on in March, they were a better team playing with continuity down the stretch. That is not that team this year, especially with the injury in the guard position. So I think this Oregon team is different. And yes, I think they got by an Oregon State team that a lot of people were on because of last year's dream run, which we may not see again for a decade plus.
Ralph Michaels, everybody. Ralph, let's talk Cal Santa Barbara versus Cal Irvine. You literally put this up like 2 hours ago. We have a line move. It's now minus, well, it's all over the map. There's a -1.5, a -2, and a -2.5. If you bet the +2.5 and -1.5 lands on 2, you could middle that one. Not enough room, though. Anyway, 124 is the total. What do we do in this game?
A big sports service put the play out just after I had posted that I'm going to use it, but I still lean with Irvine. Look, you have 2 of the elite teams in the Big West. Now, while they're the 4 and 5 seeds this year, let's remember Irvine's been to the finals for 4 straight years, and UC Santa Barbara won this tournament last year. Again, when I've handicapped this tournament and on a 7-1 run this week, I look at the last 3 weeks on the road, the last 5 weeks only road neutral games, and this Cal Santa Barbara team, to me, heads and shoulders above where Irvine is. Irvine lost to a very good Fullerton team and lost to Cal Poly on the road, while Santa Barbara, with 5 straight wins, albeit 2 of them in overtime. Irvine usually has the best player in the conference with Welp, but I'll tell you what, Santa Barbara's got Sau and the freshman of the year. So this is a season where they actually can compete man-to-man and go a mano with their main player against this Irvine team. I still do like Santa Barbara minus the short number. And again, it's not a coincidence that I gave you 3 West Coast teams here. And I tell people this that asked me, I had lived in Cleveland for 50 plus years. What's the biggest advantage moving out to Vegas? It's being able to watch these West Coast teams play in a normal time zone instead of falling to sleep watching them play at 11 p.m. at midnight. So again, I use 3 West Coast conferences for a reason. I follow them closely because I do watch a lot of the games.
Yeah, I mean, when I first moved to Vegas, it was the weirdest thing in the world. Like college football starts at 9 a.m. Your Sunday noon tip off or 1 o'clock tip off start at 10 a.m. And it's really weird to get adjusted to that. But the flip side is that you're awake for your West Coast games, every single time. Makes a huge difference in terms of which is the best time zone for sports betting. I'm a big believer in the Pacific time zone. I want to ask you specifically about this point spread, all right? Because this line opened pick 'em, and now we're looking at -2/-2.5. Do you have any rules in terms of conference tournament play where you won't, like if this line get to 3 or 3.5, like no action? Are you willing to play these teams that were pick 'em that are now have to win by more than a bucket? I tend to be real leery of betting on the short favorites after the line move. Talk to me about your thought process here, Ralph.
Teddy, there's no set pattern, but this game especially, and let's say the San Diego State game to agree. I said I still like it at 6. First off, it's this. People say don't bet a line move. And while that makes total sense, there are times that I will still bet a line move. I have all the confidence in the world when I set my number on a line. And if I say if I believe a team should be -6, and they go from -1 to -2.5, there still is 3.5 point line value for me in that game. So yes, there are times that I will actually bet into a number that moved. Now, if that line closes the gap to too much, I won't. And in this instance, I do get a little leery. Why? Because we have two incredibly slow teams. Irvine, is in the 300s. Santa Barbara in the high 260s. So because these teams are lower paced, because the winner, first one to 60, may win this game, that's only a 5% difference from that 3.5 line to a 60-point win. I am much more leery when it's only 5%. If the line is a 2-point move and the total's 150, then we're only talking a 3% move because of where we're going to have a higher variance with fast-paced teams. Because these are slower-paced teams, if I wasn't too confusing in that, it would make me leery with the move up to 3.
Ralph Michaels, everyone. Outstanding, man. Dude, I can listen to you all day. I'm guessing you're going to be at the WagerTalk meet and greet. If that's a yes, can you head past Cokin's house, bear hug him over there for me, please?
Well, Marco said I can't be there for all 5 hours because I'll drink too much. So we'll see what happens for that. But I do want to mention this, guys. Teddy and I did a podcast last Saturday. Teddy, I'm sure you're going to promote it. I want to throw out 2 situations for you. One applies today and one applies tomorrow. How about this? Iowa State in the Big 12 tournament is 15-0-1 against the spread the last 8 years. That to me is incredible. So keep that in mind with Iowa State. And Villanova, they know they're in the tournament. They know they're a 1 and 2 seed. They like winning the first game. They're 1-10 ATS in game number 2. If they win today, they'll play the winner of UConn Seton Hall. So 2 numbers that Teddy and I talked about on the podcast. Even though it was last Saturday, there's still some value if you listen to it today with today's games and tomorrow's games. Lastly, guys, the Gold Sheet, $29 through the finals. Go to goldsheet.com, $29 March Madness special. WagerTalk News has 17 pages of what the Gold Sheet had for Wednesday's information if you want to just check out how detailed that is for both NBA and college basketball. But it's a great way to check out the Gold Sheet, $29 through the national championship, daily access in both the NBA and college hoops.
Awesome stuff, Ralph Michaels. Great work. Teddy Covers, we are just about done. Ralph, do you have anything to promote?
Nope. Like I said, check out Teddy's pod. I do have a 5% up today in college hoops. And do check out the Gold Sheet. It's amazing what you get for just over $1 a day.
Awesome stuff. Teddy, one of our listeners, and I just want your opinion because I feel like this is a good place to end the show. Really nice guy, very smart. Might be a female. Jackie Morris writes, Prez is the best sports show host he's ever listened to. Would you like to add anything to that, my brother? Any thoughts?
Put the over-under at sports show hosts that he's listening to at 1.5.
What does that even mean?
That means that you're the only sports show host that he's ever listened to.
Oh,
Therefore, you're the
good
best.
one.
Now you get
Good
it.
one.
There
Well,
you
just-
go. It's a
just
betting
for the
joke, Fred. I
record-
didn't think you'd get it.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. Just for the record, Teddy is the co-host of the show with me, and I truly think he's the second best host I've ever seen in my life. I'm Lawrence Presman. Theodore, take us home, baby. Oh, you want to give
That's
that
going to wrap
promo
it
out
for the
again?
Wednesday edition.
Give that promo out, Teddy.
What?
You give it out. You give the Odd Couple promo out.
I don't know the URL code for it, so you give it out.
WT.buzz/59.
There it is. $59. You get 3 days of all access for Prez and I. You can use it today. You can use it tomorrow. Only available right here on Wager Talk Today. And that's going to wrap it for Wager Talk Today, Thursday edition. We'll do it again on Friday, same time, same channel, 9 a.m. here on the left coast, noon for you back east. Between now and then, enjoy the games, stay sane, and good luck tonight.
Would you like to bet $20 and win $100 at BetMGM regardless of your wager's outcome and get $100 in free wager bucks? Just go to WT.buzz/MGM for more details and find out if you're eligible for this amazing offer.